Hello and welcome to the launch of this unique program, the first ever program for reversal of lifestyle diseases using or predominantly centered around batch flower therapy. It's not going to be a monologue. I have with me Pooja,
Hi.
who happens to be the co founder of All That Batch, and so am I. My name is Indronil, just in case you don't know. And both of us will be in a conversation to share more about this year long program called ReLive, ReLive. So be patient, stand by with us. Amazing discoveries you can expect out of this conversation. And of course, you can always bring up your questions and we would endeavor to answer. So, hi Pooja.
Hi.
I would like you to begin the conversation because you have actually experienced the power of relive. You are reliving a new life. So, would you like to share your experience, Pooja?
Sure. First of all, welcome all of you who have joined already, and we'll wait for the others to join as well. But in the meanwhile, as Indranil wants me to share my story, my experience. So, as you can see, I am obese and I've been struggling with weight loss, hypothyroidism for quite some time now. And last year, actually, no, 2 years ago, I consulted with a great nutritionist, a great dietitian in Bangalore, and I was with her for 6 months. And those 6 months were a wonderful experience. I lost about 12 kgs over 6 months' time, and I felt great. And then I felt that, okay, I think I can do it on my own. Um, I think that is where I made a mistake. Once I quit her program, I noticed slowly, my regimen was changing. My approach to food is again different. It's changing. I would go on sort of binges without any fear of what's going to happen to me if I continue. And I gained 15 kgs more, and I think I continued to gain. And over the 2 years, I also became diabetic, and my sugar levels were really high, 349. And that's when Indranil said, okay, I understand that you've done this and you can do this, but let me try something with you. And he uh, made me a part of his own program where I was guided by a coach and a consultant, and I was guided by Indrani. And it's been 4 months now. And in the 4 months, I've already lost 13 kgs. My sugar levels are normal, and I have no desire to binge. And even on those days when I am asked to have carbs, I just don't feel like, unnecessarily eating. I don't get those emotional bouts where I have this need to eat something to feel good about myself. So that's not what is happening. And when we talked about this a lot, and we realized that this is something that is of great value, so why not share it with the others as well? So that's where Relive came in, because a lot of research has gone into Relive, wherein, let me share some facts with you. I've shared my story, but now let me share some facts with you. In 2005, WHO estimated that 61% of all deaths, which is like 35 million, were attributed to chronic diseases. Now, chronic diseases are basically, as you would know, diseases that are your own and you don't transmit it to anybody. And it is also predicted by 2030, the proportion of the total number of global deaths due to these chronic diseases is expected to increase to 70%, which is like a real lot. And during this pandemic, everybody has been so scared of COVID and fear of dying via COVID. Nearly half the people who have succumbed to COVID in India had previously existing health conditions like diabetes or hypertension. They are the top few. And I'm sure you all know that India is considered to be the diabetes capital, where you have about almost 70 million cases projected by 2025. And these cases have doubled over the past 30 years when we talk about heart disease. Now all these issues that are cropping up, these are basically something which can be put together as lifestyle diseases. And these lifestyle diseases are of a greater concern because they are spreading very fast. They are like silently spreading across, both in the youth, in older people, in middle-aged people, in urban areas and in rural areas. So it doesn't matter where you are, how old you are. It's continuing, and you would have heard in news several people are dying. Suddenly, you hear the CEO of a organization who's fit and active suddenly just passes on. He just has a stroke and he dies. So these kind of newses have been a great bother. And when we felt that there is a way to uh, deal with this, why not? So, Indrani, why don't you share a little more about what is Relive and how does it differentiate from other programs, right? Because today, if you go anywhere on social media, there's several reversal programs, lifestyle reversal programs that are going on, and I'm sure they are proven and tested. But is it permanent? Because in my case it wasn't permanent, but let me check with you, is it permanent, and if not, why? And how is Relive different from this? So why don't you share that with our audience?
Yeah, sure. I would love to do that. And to be able to understand that, let's understand that the disease that we talk about, no matter what disease it is not just in the physical body. It's a great misconception that if I have diabetes, I'm only looking at my A1C. If I'm obese, I'm only looking at my weight. That's not the disease. The disease appears in four layers, and the cause of the disease is never the body. I repeat, the cause of the disease is never the body. So let's first understand what are lifestyle diseases. Some of the most commonly known lifestyle diseases or conditions: obesity, diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, heart problems, pulmonary problems, so on and so forth. In fact, it also includes problems in health problems which occur because of addictions. It could be alcoholism or excessive smoking or whatever it is. They are attributed to these conditions. Now, this is another myth which I want to bust before I go forward, is if alcoholism was the cause of liver cirrhosis, then all those who are high on alcohol would die of liver cirrhosis, right? So
Right.
now the rest of the math you can do for yourself, how untrue it is. These are predisposition. People who are heavy smokers will die of pulmonary diseases. Possible. These are predispositions. But there is something mystical about the entire thing. You will hear stories of people in 80s and 90s, hale and hearty, living a very normal lifestyle, an active lifestyle, maybe having a little bit of addiction here and there. And please don't mistake me. Don't mistake me. I'm not supporting these habits. What I'm trying to say is don't blame these habits because the cause of the disease lies in you. It does not lie in that stick or in that bottle. The cause of the disease lies in you. And to be able to understand that, I would invite you all, not during this time, not in this forum, but later on. There is a video by this person, Dr. Bruce Lipton, who talks about, the title of the video is called Biology of Belief. And the theme that he has brought up is called epigenetics. And he talks about how beliefs are the underlying cause of all our conditions, of all our diseases, and also of all the positive conditions, of good health also. So, to help you understand this, I would like to share a slide. Let me see. Just give me a moment. I'll, yeah, there you go. Share. Yeah. So, I suppose all of you can see this. This is the anatomy of a disease. What you see above the surface of the water, imagine this to be an iceberg. You see the physical condition of the disease. You can measure the damaged metabolism, which is also called the metabolic markers or metabolic risk factors. Also, above the water level, the conscious level, you can understand the negative feelings, thoughts, and habits related to the disease. Now, the difficult part is what is below the waterline. You can read it for yourself. These are your beliefs, these are your blocks, the limiting blocks and beliefs. Powerlessness, worthlessness, perceptions, prejudices, paradigms, constructs, beliefs, principles, stereotypes, dogmas, so on and so forth. Now, unless there is a way by which we can access this fourth layer, the deepest layer, this is where the seat of the disease is. Diseases can never be irreversibly reversed. Diseases can never be permanently reversed because the same emotions that cause the diseases still persist. They have not been killed. Now, their manifestation, their precipitation at a physical level might be different the next time, but because the cause of the disease has not been healed, it will definitely reappear. So, what Pooja shared with you was nothing but this part, the, the part which is below the waterline, remained unhealed, and moment the intervention at the physical level was withdrawn, it kicked back with dual or multiple intensity, double intensity. Now, I take this opportunity also to therefore introduce to you not just the cause but the cure of these diseases. So, at the physical level, people find a lot of relief using diet, proper balanced diet, yoga, Ayurveda, and many alternative therapies for physical wellness. But as I said, this only reverses the physical layer of the disease, not the disease itself. What we have introduced in ReLive is this amazing therapy which uses 38 remedies, which are floral essence remedies called batch flower remedies, which have the power to not only heal the negative feelings, thoughts, and habits which are accessible at the conscious level, but also the underlying blocks and beliefs, and heal them permanently. So, the story that Pooja shared was a success of bachelor art therapy. She's still being guided by some very able coaches, lifestyle and diet coaches, but concomitantly, she is on patch flower therapy. So I think by now you do understand what is Relive all about. Just a minute. Let me close this. Relive is actually a concomitant therapy, a program which integrates batch flower therapy. By the way, for those who you don't know about batch flower therapy, it's the safest and yet the surest kind of therapy that can help you to heal your mental, emotional, and even physical conditions on the rebounds. It is safe because the remedies don't contain any chemical. They are vibrational remedies. Their main role is to raise your vibrations and thereby dissolve the blocks that are there. And and batch flower therapies are very simple to use. They are vibrational
You,
remedies. Their main you don't role is to raise your vibrations and thereby
no
dissolve the.
restrictions.
There is somebody's complaining that you're getting two voices.
Are you still getting two voices?
No, so maybe you can
Okay.
mute yourself. I don't know, whatever.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. I hope you won't.
yeah. So they are very simple to use. There are no restrictions. You can have it with any other alternate therapy. Though I have recently found that some therapists who perhaps are insecure when they start their therapy say don't use batch flower because the sheer power of batch flower therapy may actually nullify the effect of that. But that is a misconception. It works very in a very friendly manner, no adverse interaction with any drugs. However, my own experience with batch flower therapy over I think last 8 to 9 years is that if I am taking medication and I start batch flower therapy for that particular disease, I, over a period of time, have noticed very magically that my medications just stop and get weaned off by themselves. So don't worry if you're taking medicines for hypertension, medicines for diabetes, metformin, or obesity, or to lower your triglycerides and cholesterol. Please go ahead. We also, in our team, have a panel of physicians and specialists. So, time to time, they will check they will check your blood work and also advise what medications you need to take. As a matter of fact, in most cases, over a period of time, they will ask you to stop medication. That's the beauty of this program. We work together as a team. Every package is customized. We study the constitution of every individual in detail, and based on that, therapies are given. Based on that, diets are given. Based on that, lifestyles are recommended. So you don't get a one size fits all kind of a solution. And even without diets, my experiment with batch flower therapy over the last 2, 3 years have proven its effectiveness in managing and healing at least two lifestyle diseases, which is diabetes and obesity. So, yes, Pooja, I think I have introduced Relive. I have introduced what lies the essence behind Relive. Now, what is next? What do you think we need to do?
So it will be nice to know what is the duration that you recommend for this program.
Yeah, so, okay, so let me share with you. I'll give you an example. Let's say you are diabetic and you are diabetic for 12 years. I'm also assuming that you are also hypothyroid, low on thyroid. You know why I'm assuming? There is a very interesting thing. In fact, if you can send me your email addresses, I will share this booklet with you, which is all about emotional causes of physical ailments. Now, hypothyroid, the emotional cause, is consistent humiliation. And these are well researched and documented by the famous teacher, Louis Hay. She goes on to say diabetes is all about not being able to take sweetness in life, being bitter, being sad, and they are connected. You know, the insult, the humiliation, the sadness, the bitterness, the resentment, they're all connected. So that hypothyroid, which is the manifestation of humiliation, further grows into diabetes because by then the unhealed emotion of humiliation has grown into resentment, bitterness, feeling like a victim, and not being able to take anything sweet in life. Yeah. So this would have taken so much of time. What would be your expectation for reversal? Tell me. You did not pay attention to any of these. You just swallowed some pills and thought you will be okay. And every few months, the strength of your meds have gone up. Nothing has happened. And today I'm telling you that 15 years back, you suffered these emotional setbacks, which is the cause of what you're suffering today. And you expect it to be healed and reversed in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. The body is a body. You have brought your body to a certain level of equilibrium. It knows how to sustain all the onslaughts that you cause to your body. It will need time for shift of this equilibrium to move to a healthy state. And the minimum time that we can think of is 1 year, nothing less than that.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
you
think
can
it
pay
makes
for
a
the
lot of sense.
program in installments, but I would suggest that we are here with commitment and we don't accept or expect any client to come without commitment. In fact, even in my therapy, bachelor therapy, I make it very clear right at the beginning that if you're not coming with the commitment to heal yourself and just to try it out, you might as well go to someone else, not to me. So, this is a program of commitment. We commit and you commit your adherence to the therapy, your adherence to the diet, your adherence to the lifestyle recommendations. And logically, technically, scientifically, there is no reason why it will not be permanently reversed. I will also take this opportunity to share that there are four conditions and diseases we are currently addressing: diabetes, obesity, hypertension, and what is called as hyperlipidemia, which includes raised level of cholesterol and triglycerides. The last two are conditions which are metabolic risk factors. The first two are diseases based on metabolic risk factors of being overweight and hyperglycemic. The four metabolic risk factors that WHO has announced, we are addressing only these four to start with. Having said that, there is no reason why we will not entertain you if you're coming with an arthritis or a gout or a spondylitis or puja, whatever else lifestyle diseases you can think of, because all of it is caused in the emotion. And once we have started healing the cause, we can bring in the dietitians, we can bring in the lifestyle coaches to bring about an impact at the physical level. It's very simple. What is not simple is the therapy. Yeah, Pooja.
So, because I'm going through it myself, so I understand how it works. Um, so, you talked about diet, you talked about monitoring through a consultant, through a doctor, you talked about constant monitoring from you as a therapist, and helping the patients um, manage their emotions so that they can stay on track and make this a successful endeavor for themselves. So this sounds really great because I'm feeling great as I'm going through this program.
Yeah,
Instead
so
of
just
me
look at
asking my
yourself.
team,
Just look at yourself. I'll just pitch in for a while. Manage the emotion. So, what a wonderful thing. It is not manage the emotion, manage the lifestyle. Where is your binge eating today, Pooja?
I don't do that anymore.
Where is your emotional eating today?
No,
How
I don't
often
do
do
that
you
anymore.
cheat? How often do you cheat?
No, I don't.
What stopped all this? Metformin?
It's no, not at all. Metformin is gone. I think the it's very the problem is the remedies work so silently at such a deep level that it is you don't even know how this transformation happens within you, and suddenly you see that, oh, I think I'm a different person today. I am behaving differently. My choices are different. I'm a home chef, and every day I cook everything that I used to love a lot, and I don't even taste it. I just cook and I deliver. That's all I do. And it's been going on for the past few months. And this is unbelievable for a person like me who had absolutely no control over, my desires to have food. So that's the biggest transformation that I see in myself. Not just me, everybody around me is like, not even a taste. How is it even possible? So it's become like that. I don't even feel like there is no restraint. That's the best part. Nobody's saying, oh, it's bad for you or something. No, I just don't feel the need to have it, and I feel great. So that's what I was trying to say. It works so silently and beautifully, and the faith that I have in batch flour is kind of now unshakable. Early days when I several years ago, when I used to kind of Indranil used to give me some remedies for some issues that I have, I would not take them regularly. I was not a regular, I was not a good patient. But since I have been regular with my remedies, my life has changed. My life has transformed. It has helped me enjoy the diet a lot. It has helped me um, feel good that my body is in a great space. It makes me feel good that I can walk, which I could not earlier. It makes me feel great that I can do things that I could not do earlier. It makes me feel great. Yeah, it makes me feel great overall. So I mean, I'm sorry, I'm talking too much about myself, but that's where I am. So what I would be very happy to hear from Indraneel is answers to your inquiries, because this is
Please,
my
yeah,
experience. It'll be
yeah.
wonderful if you could ask your questions and your doubts and what is your curiosity, and Indraneel responds to that. That is something that will make this more enriching for you as people who are watching this live.
Just shoot. The four areas that I talked about: obesity, diabetes, uh, hypertension, and hyperlipidemia. Out of the 21 people that are watching, I'm sure at least 50% of you have at least one of them. So there is no shame in saying, because by coming out, you're demonstrating your commitment to get well, and not just get well, but reverse it permanently. Meanwhile, Pooja, you can share the coordinates where they should write to for having more details, having a brochure on the program, and sign up with us.
So Karan has asked a question.
Yeah, how are flower remedies different from any other form of alternative medicines for lifestyle diseases? So I think, Karan, maybe you were not tuned in at that point in time. Remedies. Okay, let's first be able to understand that, because Karan is very close to me. I will go a little more into detail. So I'm sure you would have heard about the Panchakoshas by Patanjali 5,000 years back. Beyond the physical body is the vital body, the energy body, right? The pranamaya kosha, annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, mind body, manomaya kosha, the wisdom body, the jnanmaya kosha, and then the bliss body, anandamaya kosha. So most alternative therapies work between the two layers, the physical and the emotional. So physical, uh, energetic body, and the mind body, the three layers, right? But there are very few which access the unconscious and work on the wisdom body, the role of which is to awaken the witness in us. And by witnessing our own blocks, we dissolve that. That's the role of batch flower. It's very, very profound. So that's the key difference of batch flower remedy and the therapy that is carried out with batch flower remedies and any other alternative medicine, including homeopathy. Homeopathy works in the mind body level, not at the wisdom body level. And as you go higher up on the layers, the last being the bliss body, the rest are subordinate layers. So if I heal the wisdom body, the mind body gets healed. If I heal the mind body, the energetic body gets healed. And if I heal the energetic body, the physical body gets healed, which means healing the wisdom body using batch flower remedies is itself often good enough to heal you of your physical ailments. Do you know that? I've healed patients with spondylosis. I've healed patients with arthritis. Pooja, you just name IBS, uh, so on and so forth. I can't recall.
Migraine.
Without migraine, yeah. So without any intervention at the physical level. So did I answer your question, Karan? And along with that, it's a two in one. They're very, very safe because there is no chemical whatsoever in the remedies. It is the signature vibrations of each flower, 38 flower, which is captured and preserved in water with alcohol. Have I answered your question, Karan?
Okay, I think you have. So here is another question from Priya. Um, in
Hey,
terms of
awesome, Priya,
when
awesome, awesome. You know, the biggest conditioning that we carry in our mind and in our unconscious, कि मेरे बाप को हुआ था तो मुझे भी होगा, मेरे माँ को हुआ था तो मुझे भी होगा. And imagine this belief. The power of this belief is so strong that it creates a self fulfilling prophecy in you. It is not because your parent was diabetic that you are diabetic. You are diabetic because you believe that your parent was diabetic and the genes will make you diabetic. No, Go and listen to Bruce Lipton talking about epigenetics. Genetics are much less powerful than your own beliefs, your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own behavior, and most importantly, your own conditionings. So, Priya, my answer to your question, it has got nothing to do with that. My father had many diseases which I don't have. My mother had many diseases that I don't have. My sister, one of them has some. The other sister has diseases which my father or mother did not have. So there is no statistical, logical proof of this. The only reason this happens is I psych myself to believe that it is hereditary. There is nothing which is hereditary, there is nothing which is genetic. Today in the afternoon puja, and we are discussing obesity due to genetic reasons. There are some genetic diseases which bring in obesity. And I think you were talking about a certain case, right? About a friend of yours, and she lost massive weight
Yeah,
despite it being genetic.
right.
So, Priya, it is an absolute misconception that if parents are diabetic in the later age, the children will suffer from diabetes. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Any other question? This is the forum. Okay, so Pooja has shared the details where you can WhatsApp or email, and the program is yet to be uh, featured on my website, allthatbatch.com. But there is a brochure, so if you can write to me or WhatsApp me, I'll share the brochure with you, and then we can take the journey forward from there. It's almost half an hour, yeah, I think. And I'm so glad, I'm so thankful, I'm really really grateful for all of you to have spared so much of your valuable time to join me in this launch. To me, it's my new baby, and I'm very very happy, very proud of it, and I know that with your blessings, with your support, with your good wishes, it will go a long way. So please be with me as you have been with me all through, and we will make the world a much healthier place. I'm sure about it. Okay? So, with that, thank you very much, and stay blessed, stay connected.
Thank you so much. Have a fabulous evening and stay in touch. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.